Hey guys, Jim here. Wanted to share with you a recent acquisition of mine, something a little bit newer actually. I've only had this for about, I want to say about 2, 3 weeks, and I have been so damn excited about it since it arrived that I've been carrying it a lot. Been showing it a lot on Instagram. I had a lot of fun with it. This is a really, really special piece by a maker that not a lot of people know about. And you'll kind of notice a theme lately. I've been getting into a lot of knives made by people that are just kind of up and coming, or maybe are hobbyist knife makers, don't really have time to do it full time, so they put out very small quantities. And that is exactly what we're going to be seeing here. The maker's name is Tobin Smith, and you can find him on Instagram. I'll give you all that information, his website, all that kind of good stuff in a moment. I am so completely blown away by this knife. It's almost hard to put it into words. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, that is insane. It's gorgeous. It's very, very special. It's unique. And I've got to get my hands on it. And I'm so very glad that I actually now have this in my collection. I'll tell you the whole story in a moment. Let's talk about the packaging that the knife comes in first, which will be a Black Ops box. You see where my mind is at already. You get that opened up. And this is the same box, by the way, that Dustin Turpin uses. So if it seems familiar, that would be why. When you open it up, I don't know where I put it. There's actually a birth certificate that comes with the knife. Tells you everything about the knife and who it was made for and whatnot. So nice soft foam packaging that you can kind of take that out and do whatever the hell you want to with it. And get that back in there. Here is his card. Tobin Smith Custom Knives. Tobin Smith Knife Maker, tobin.smith@gmail.com, or you can reach him at tobinsmithblades.com. There's his phone number and an example of one of his knives. Super nice guy. I've only had a chance to really message back and forth with him a couple of times on Instagram. Nothing serious. I haven't had the chance, unfortunately, to call him. I wanted to give him a call before I did this video, but a lot of people are beating down my proverbial door for me to get this review done, so wanted to give you guys a chance to see it. What you're looking at here is a 3.5-inch blunt nose Tanto blade. So very Americanized Tanto, not that elongated Tanto that we would see that's a little bit more traditional. It's about just a touch over 8.25 inches overall, so he is stuffing a lot of that blade into the handle and not giving you a hell of a lot of overhang, which is great. Both of the bolsters and the pocket clip are Mokuti, and he's done a beautiful hand rub satin on the blade. Now, the Mokuti is what makes this knife so special. Let's close this up and talk about just that. We'll start here, and you'll notice what looked like may have been inlays from a distance are not inlays. The entire bolster on both sides and the entire pocket clip are made of Mokuti. What he's done here is he's chosen to mill these grooves into the material, bring out the color only in those channels, and then satin finish the rest. So what it looks like when you're looking at it from somewhat of a distance is it just looks like it's a titanium bolster with 3 Damascus or Mokuti inlays. And you'll have to forgive me, I'm sure at some point during this video, I say everything off the cuff, it's very quick, and I only do this in one take, so I might say Damascus instead of Mokuti once or twice, but I want to be clear, this is Mokuti. It's the same thing, it's the same basic idea, it's just different processes in which they come up with them, so that's just the way it is. Alpha Knife Supply owns Damascus, and oh my god, why am I blanking? Chad Nichols owns Mokuti. So what you're getting into here, if you really, really look, you'll see the pattern in the Mokuti coming through. There we go. So it exists throughout the entire section, but by only treating the grooves and only bringing out the colors in the grooves, you've got something that I feel is very unique. Now, I have never seen anybody else do this. Now, I'm not saying that nobody else has. I'm not saying this is the first time it's ever been done, but it is certainly the first time that I have ever seen it. and it's absolutely amazing. I've already had a lot of people comment about how incredible it looks, what a great contrast it provides, including non-knife people, people that I work with that, have zero interest in knives, don't know anything about them. And they go, oh my God, the handle on that thing is absolutely gorgeous. And it really, really is. This is not the typical knife that I would go for. Usually if I'm going to do Mokuti or Damascus, I'm going to do very large areas or the entire knife and go, super crazy with it and have areas that are mirror polished because it's such a dressy look. And I've got to tell you, this looks perfect just the way it is. Typically, I'd want something that's a little bit more ergonomic in the hand. Nice palm swells through here, choils up in here, and nice reliefs through here. What you've actually got is something that's fairly straightforward. There is some flowing work done here. It's not like a completely straight knife, but there's something about it because of how chunky and beefy it is that for my hand, it feels just perfect. He's got a really wonderful action on this. Alpha Knife Supply bearing pivot. One of the things that struck me as funny, and I really don't know how or why, but no matter how soft or how hard you flip this open, it has a soft sound when it engages. Listen to this. It's a very dull sound. It's almost like it's not metal on metal hitting. I don't know how that's achieved. I don't know what the process is in order to do that, but it's really wild and really cool. I see the lockup on this is just about 40%, maybe a little bit more. He's done some nice jimping right here on the liner lock, making it easier to access. One of the little tricks that I love that a few makers have started doing is putting the checkering up on the flipper tab. Because it is a smaller flipper tab and it's a nice rounded flipper tab, no sharp edges, some people might tend to slip their finger right off of it. This checkering is so fine and so well done that it does literally grab your finger. And you feel it. Here is the hand rub satin. There we go. Great grind on this. I love the forward grind on it. It's a very sharp blade. Notice how the spine is satin finished and brought down to a very gentle swedge toward the tip. Just enough to give you a little bit of accentuation without being overdone. See if we can get it to focus up there. There we go. Very dramatic, but it's not overstated. I love the fact that he's done an angled bolster and he's matched the milled lines to the same angle. Very, very nice union of the materials here. Almost undetectable as it goes from this very, very nice carbon fiber, nice classic weave carbon fiber, up into the Mokuti bolsters. No detectable jump here as I run my fingers across the back, nor along the bottom side. Everything's smooth. Fit perfectly together. Nice clean use of hardware, not overdone. He's done a nice satin finish on all the titanium liners going all the way around. He's got a nice milled titanium backspacer done here. The knife overall has a lot of character. A lot of character. Every time I go to reach for a knife these days, I have to struggle not to carry this day after day after day after day. It's one of those knives that's addicting, not only because of its aesthetical beauty, but the way that it fits in the pocket, the way that it rides in the pocket, the clip tension is perfect, and it is a beautiful showpiece. When you just see that hanging out of the pocket, you cover up all the rest. You just see a little bit of the carbon fiber and that beautiful clip hanging out. I'm really glad that he added that little bit right there. It's an incredible knife to carry. It's not very heavy either. It's a fairly lightweight knife. The flipping action is nice. One of the things that I told Tobin was I typically prefer a much stronger detent, but the way that he's built this, the smoothness in the action, it almost doesn't matter because it flips so nicely. It's a positive detent. You can see how it's sucking it in. I just prefer a little bit more. See, I want to be able to kind of rest my finger on it and have a little bit more. And this thing would be a rocket. But it really is, it's such a classy knife that I almost like the soft way that it opens. And it will open nice and fast. It's not that it's a slow flipper. I don't want you to take that and go, oh, well, the guy needs to work on his detent work. No, it's fantastic the way it is. I just have certain preferences. But it operates flawlessly. And the way that I ended up getting into this is I've been following Tobin on Instagram and seeing the work that he's been doing, and he's definitely sparked my curiosity. And then one day he put this knife out there, and he did a couple of work in progress pictures, and all of us that saw it were blown away. And he says, I'm going to put this up for an Instagram open auction. He happened to do it on a day that I wasn't working. I had the whole day free. I'm like, shit yeah. I am all up in this shit, as the kids would like to say. I'm assuming the kids still say that. I really don't know. So the bidding started. I just kind of waited it out, and I threw a bid out there about halfway through the day of $800. Actually, I apologize. I think I did it for $850. And then, like a complete tool, like a total fucking monkey ass, I forgot about the damn auction, which was going to be ending, I think it was at 4 o'clock that day. And I forgot to check back. And when I did, when that little bell went off in my head that went, oh shit, you raging fucking rod, go back, check it out, see what happened. And yes, I was outbid at the final hour. And it was our buddy Bob, good climbing, that got it. And it wasn't like he sniped me at the end or anything, malicious like that. It's just he happened to be the last bid, and I was a dumbass and forgot to check on it. So, I sent Bob a message when he got it. I'm like, dude, congratulations. It's an amazing knife. I wish I would have paid more attention. And he kept that in the back of his mind. And he had it for maybe a week. And he sends me a text message. He says, listen, he goes, the knife is just so pretty, I'm afraid to ruin it. It's a one-off. I don't want to screw it up, the only one that exists, by carrying it all the time and getting marks all over it. And because if you see the knives that he carries, look at his non-flipper flipper. That thing is just marked up all the crap because he likes to carry his knives and use them. That's what the hell we buy them for. He says, I'm just afraid of putting scars on it that can't be removed. Do you still want it? And I was like, oh shit, yeah. And I was pretty much sworn off of buying at that particular time because it was, still just coming out of Blade and all the purchases that I had made recently, even after that. And I said, I'm not passing up on this. There's just no way in hell. So I went ahead and PayPal'd him right away. He got it to me super fast. I think I got it in like 2 days. And it's been an amazing experience ever since I opened the friggin' box. And it's not often that I can say that it kicks other knives out of my pocket. There are days that I'll be carrying something and I'll walk by my knife case, and I tend to just open my knife case and start playing with knives for no apparent reason because I geek out on this shit. And I'll look at this and go, fuck it, I got to carry this. There's not a lot of times that happens with me with a lot of knives. There are only maybe 4 or 5 knives in my collection that I'm so madly in love with, short term or long term, so madly in love with, that I almost feel disappointed if I carry something else. And this is one of those knives. I have so much fun playing with it, flipping it, holding it, feeling the action, feeling the grip in the hand, and then looking at the marvelous work that we see here in the bolsters and the clip. Now the thing is, Tobin is a hobbyist knife maker. He just does it for fun on the side. He has a full-time job. So you're not going to get a chance to see a lot of his knives out there in the wild. I do believe that, yes, he is taking orders. I'm not entirely certain of that, but it can't hurt to shoot him a phone call or an email or a message on Instagram and say, hey, I've seen your knives. I think they're great. I'd love to do something with you. What's your lead time? And maybe he's got openings. I have no idea. But I tell you, if you get the chance, do it. This was the first really serious standout piece that I saw of his. The knives that he had displayed previously, I thought were really nice. I thought they'd be great EDC knives, something that you just kind of want to have in your collection and kind of want to carry all the time. This was the first one that I felt was an absolute stunner. And I'm sure there are a lot out there that I just haven't seen the pictures of. Look at this. I love when the makers match up the blade right to the bolsters or to the frame. Really nicely done. I mean, everything about this friggin' thing is just gorgeous. The blade is a lot thicker than I would have expected. I think it's just, if it's not 200 thou, it's just under. Maybe like a 195. But it is really thick blade stock. There's the centering. I have been so fortunate to acquire so many nice knives in the past couple of years and add them to my collection. And sometimes I think I need to stop buying. I need to stop. I've got enough. I've got enough. I've got enough. And then that next new hot thing pops up, especially if you're on Instagram. I think it's the worst. Because once you hit that knife sale hashtag, there's something put up there all the time. Like every hour you can refresh it and there's more juicy shit for you to buy. I find it to be a little bit better than most of the forums. And every time I feel that need to buy more, I take a walk over to my display case and I look through the knives I have and go, you know what? I am so fortunate to own the knives that I own. To have gotten the opportunities to have caught it at the right time or have gotten onto a certain maker's books, I feel very fortunate to the point where I don't really ever need to buy another knife. But I still do it because it's a sickness, it's an obsession. We've discussed this before in previous videos. But when you have a knife like this that just seems to hit every point that you love in a custom knife, you got to do it, especially at the price this was. Bob's winning bid was $875. He sold it to me for $875. Didn't even charge me shipping, just $875. In my opinion, I do not personally think I could have ever touched something in a hand-rubbed satin blade, Mokuti bolsters, Mokuti clip, and especially with the custom way this was done. I do not possibly believe I could have gotten this for under $1,200 from any known maker. Maybe on some of the smaller guys that, you know, haven't quite made it yet or just like to keep low prices. I'm sure it's probably possible. I just can't think of any. I'm so happy. I mean, it really, I know it reads in all of my posts about it. I can't stop playing with it. I can't stop posting it. Can't stop taking friggin' pictures of it. It is a wonderfully photogenic knife. Now, if there were a couple of things that I would say I'd love to see changed, and it's, again, not a big deal. His hand-rubbed satin looks really, really good, but when you get into the very fine details, you'll see there's a couple areas that could be cleaned up just a little bit, especially right here. So there's just a slight, and I mean ever so slight degree of inconsistency. Not enough to where you look at it and go, oh, well, that's disappointing. You really don't notice it unless you're looking for it. And I tend to overly scrutinize every knife as soon as I get it, just so I, you know, just for my own personal opinions on it and to see how I'm going to be looking at it when I'm doing a review or overview on it. And the other thing is I would have loved to have had an option to put a lanyard on this knife. It carries well, it pops out of the pocket wonderfully. As you see from the clip, it does ride pretty low, but there's just enough of the handle sticking up that I can grab onto it very, very easily. So there's no need for a lanyard, but I would have loved to do an extra decorative piece. I would have loved to have had a black lanyard on here with a Mokuti bead on it, just to further add to it. So it's more of a pocket jewelry decoration request than something that's necessitated by the way it's carried. That's it. That and a firmer detent. But like I said, it flips so damn well the way it is, it's okay. I'm okay with that. So there you go, guys. There is a look at the Tobin Smith Tanto in Mokuti. He has not named it, and I kind of mentioned that. He says, well, yeah, I wouldn't mind coming up with a name for it. If you could think of something, let me know. And there was something about it, the way that the blade profile is and the way everything is angled. It reminded me of the Lamborghini Reventon. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Is that how you pronounce it? It reminded me of the angles that you see in the front fascia. But he's like, nah, I don't know if that's really the kind of name. I'm sorry, Aventador, the Aventador. He's like, I don't really know if that's really the kind of name I want to go for. So I'm still trying to think of one, at least for my knife. But for right now, it's just Tobin Smith Tanto in Mokuti. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm going to try and crank out a few more videos here over the next week or so. And then I got to take a little bit of time off because my wife is going out of town and I get to take care of my 19-month-old by myself for 3 days. So I might come back with a few hairs pulled out. We'll see. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.